Hello. Hello, hello. Let me know if I sound strange. I messed around with my mic settings. If it's cutting me out a lot, let me know, or if I'm too quiet. Thank you. Hello. Happy Friday. That's good. We are in Gridfall. We crafted our little, what is it? What is this called? We crafted our... Let me look at my tools. Scrambled coordinates, battery. Well, I am 5 out of 10 on getting the outfit that I wanted. At least the dress part. I still got the shoes and the mask. Oh my god, this outfit is so cute, guys. I'm so excited. I had a long week and I'm glad it is over and it's the weekend. I'm very glad. Recharging our battery. Recharging. Can never have too much battery. Okay. Right now we're collecting artifacts. I wanted to go repair some of these hydroponic farm things. I think it's over here. Over here, yes. I'm also looking for more urbex doors, because the only way to get the outfit that I want is to go through these doors. Fix your stuff, Dr. Marie. Mashroom. JJ, hi JJ. JJ, I screamed when I got that recipe set. I screamed. I was so excited. Finally. I can't fix that right now. It's probably part of a quest. And the log shows up. That's what we've been waiting for. That was literally me. JJ, let me know if I sound weird. I mess with my mic settings, so it doesn't pick Shizzle up as easily. If it's like cutting me out, I'm gonna turn off the noise cancellation thing that I added on. Ah! No! Hi, Meshi. You're perfect. How's it going? It's going good! I'm trying to collect an outfit in Loftia. We have until the 6th to get all the outfits that I want to get. It's the weekend, so I'm super excited that I get to sleep in tomorrow. How are you? Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend. Pumpkin's here. I thought you were streaming, Pumpkin. Damn, I am.
I won't half-ass my fear.
I am, Mama. I am. What are you doing in my chat? If you're streaming, you silly woman. No, I'm kidding. I love you. I love you. Don't leave. Don't leave me. Don't abandon me. Don't abandon me like my father. Sorry. That got deep. I'm sorry. It's okay. Uh-oh, now I've gone and made things awkward. Oh no. At least I won't need to go get milk because I got your milkies. Oh my god, I can craft the emo jacket. How do I do that? Okay, I don't know. I can be emo. I'm an emo kid, as conforming as— wait, not conforming as can be. You'd be non-conforming too if you were just like me. Is that how that goes? Ellie, I read that already. No, I'm not an emo girl. I'm a cottagecore girl. Oh, there's more. I'm finding so many used lafufus. Oh, I need that. Carbon fiber. I like the little exploration game in this. Oh, I got a piece of the dreamy dress. Let's go.
Hi!
Hi, Kimberly. How are you? Let's see. Do I have 6 out of 10 now? I do. Okay, so you can get pieces of the outfit by breaking stuff as well. That's good to know. Graphical error. Graphical error. Am I gonna become a glitch if I go inside of it? If I touch it? I can't really touch it. Whoa! This is weird. I don't like how it's slanted like that. It hurts my brain. Hello? We can't talk to her. Lighter. Your OC is so cute. Thank you. Thank you so much. I need more doors. Where are the doors? Open the door. Right here? Oh, I get materials from fixing stuff. Okay. Oops. Rusted metal. We need sand. We need sand. With lignin. How do I get sand? The underground. I'm just gonna have to keep going to those underground areas. Let's go to Lila. Lila, Lila, Lila. I just keep emoting on it. Look at me go! Whee! Don't need to do that right now. Radish, spinach, rice. How many? One each? Radish, spinach, rice. Radish, spinach, rice. Wait, can I take the hot air balloon? Community farm in 5 minutes! My neighborhood. Why was I going to my neighborhood? I can't remember. I gotta chill. All I have is trees. Glass. Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll fix my frickin' posture. Hi. Let's go to Loftia City. How's the Mashi? I'm good. I'm good. I'm happy it's the weekend. I'm a little sleepy though. Thank you. I am making good progress. I've got 6 out of 10 of this, 2 out of 5 of this, and 3 out of 10 of this. We'll see. Oh, wait. Oh, that's the start? No, I have to go to the way opposite end. How are you, Nia? Go to the farm. What to sleep. It eludes me like money savings. Oh, same. Same Rooney. That's clay. I don't need clay. Dang, I didn't get in. Hi, Shark. Oh, their outfit's cute. Well, I guess I'll go buy seeds from... Thank you for the hydrate. Mashimaro. Mashimaro. Aro. Aro. Wait, did you redeem Head Pat and I thought you redeemed Hydrate? No, you just redeemed. You didn't redeem that recently. I don't know what's happening. My brain is fried. I don't have a single brain cell left. Gonna be May. Chat, what did I need? Radish, spinach, radish, spinach, and rice. Radish, spinach, and rice. Happy May! It's May Day! It's gonna be May. I just realized. It's gonna be May. No, it's not gonna be May. It is May. May Shimairo. May Shimairo. I got Southern. Hello. Wait. Howdy, my name is May Shimairo. Money.
Oh.
I have a cute animation I want to show off to you guys. Mishmash, I was taking a bath. Mishmash, I was taking a bath. Da 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 da. Hi, Sunny. No, not the 3x3. Wait, is it the 3? Yeah, it's the 3x3. I'm a dingle. Howdy, y'all. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. How was your week, Sunny? Why did autocorrect do that to me? It's fine. Just fine. My soil is moist. Okay. Wait, did it automatically craft that emo shirt I got? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it did! Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's cute. Can I have... And then the shoes? A lighter? Cute! I'm gonna do my crops finish. Three minutes. An hour? 2 hours? 2 hours? An hour? Oh my goodness. My biceps and hamstrings hurt from the gym. I'm sorry. Well, at least that means you had a successful workout. I want to go on an adventure. Oh, I'm in a dome. I can't exit a dome if I'm in the dome. I can't exit that way. I'm in a dome. Sweet soy milk and banana curry. I want to go on an adventure with Meishi. Yeah, I want to go on an adventure with Sharky. Now I have all the tools I need to do better in these adventures. Redirect the antenna. Energize the beacon. Yeah, soon. 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 Help! 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 The struggle of doing it with people who don't care about you. Oh my god, I did not just do that. It redirected me all the way to the front. Are you kidding? Just fell into the water. Ridiculous. Princess Frog dress. This is fixed. Hell yeah. I got 3 pieces? Dang. Well, I see where I'm supposed to go, but I do not... The battery's already fully charged. Have I been lagging at all? The devs did a pretty good optimization update. Another one. Who the hell is Abby Ladd? I'm sorry, Sunny. I'm sorry. That made me giggle. I made a delicious apple crisp last night. That was really good. I had some vanilla bean ice cream and a salted caramel that I put on top. I'm trying to put my hair in my curlers in type. What kind of curlers do you use? Do you just use like rollers? Mashi, teeny, Mizari. Send me picture, yeah. I use like a rod, like a silk rod, and I just like curl my hair, fold my hair in around it. Yeah, I use my oh my god. I'm just gonna stop speaking. I'm gonna become a mute because I can't talk properly. I hear something. Oh, it needs to be 2 people. Like, these gauntlets are like a group activity. I energized that. Okay. Oh, it just got really quiet. Kind of ominous. Hello, Manjo. How are you? Just fall in the water. Why don't you? Did someone energize that?
No, I'm so slow. I cannot play without that.
I feel like I'm doing all the work here. Am I? I'm alone, that's why. That's why. I'm freaking by myself. I thought I had people with me. That's so sad. That's so sad. I have no friends. Wow. Wow. They abandoned me. I go drown. Let me see your pretty picture. Let me see. Assuming it's just pictures of the curler. Oh, that's what I use. Yeah, that's what I use too. It works very well on my hair. Let me see your war face. Let me hear your war cry. We want to go to Gridfall and collect more outfit pieces. Used to, because I have a lot of hair, so it's so easy and looks good, so I like them. Yeah, it does look good. I have a pretty long one, so it doesn't. My hair's kind of thin. It's not very thick. Oh, this is what I was looking for. Oh, it's a daily thing. Damn. She's stuck! She's stuck! Oh no! Oh no. There's an unstuck button. Beta probs. There you go. Used, gone fishing. Used, Kevin says. There she is! She made it out! Return to Atlas. I suppose I can return to Atlas. Smash Rex got a strange design though. Low-key feels like it was designed to make the user progressively angrier. What if this little device caused like a lot of conflicts in old Earths? Shouldn't you do more research? We haven't really got the time or resources to look more into this. We'll just log this as our working theory for now, but this doesn't explain the uplift though, so we're going to need another artifact. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Cox. Hello, hello. Da, 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 da. 2 pieces of the dreamy mask. They didn't break the safe. Hi. Hi. Damn. Wait, those are pencils. Oh my god, that's cute. Those pencils are huge. What the hell? No. Yum. I bit my tongue. I can't freaking jump over this. Thank you, Sunny. Oh, the shoes. I've not found the shoes. South side of Gridfall. South side of Gridfall? Alright, Urbex doors. I wish there was like a... Does anyone have the... a map guide of all the Urbex stores? Da, 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 da. Honk honk! One brick and one eco plank. One brick and one eco plank. I kinda have to use the restroom. So I will be... Oops. I'll be right back. Hello. Hello, hello. My grapes. I need that. Thank you, Shade. How are you? My radishes. My rada. Algae. Took a shower, so I'm feeling fresh. Oh, hell yeah. The power of not being stinky. Took my weekly poopy. Oh my god. Happy for you. I don't have any in my bag. I need algae. Do I need to hold this on me? Look at that Phoebe. Spotless Ruby doll. I like the low foo-foo. Oh no, she's lost a leg. Yeah, go ask Daddy. Go ask him. You're playing laser right now. Okay, I want to go here. Right now I'm here. Actually, let's go to... Thank you for the hydrate and the head pat. And the posture check. Where am I? Oh, the map is flipped. Save image. Map. Urbex map. I can save this image and then I can flip it. Because this is not... This is not in the right... How do I flip it? Okay. So there's this one. This one. Okay, reset. Ooh, yes. Oh my god, I almost have the dreamy shoes. Mushrooms, mushrooms. Spotless duck. Magnets. Okay, that one takes me here. Apparently, there's one underground. But where's the manhole to get underground? Ah. Ah! Okay, let's see. This one. Aha! Okay. Oh. Oh, I got sand. Nice. Whoa. I just killed that thing twice. I'm so fast! Look at me go! I go, nope. Usually there's like... Okay. I'm gonna have so many frickin' materials by the time I'm done with this. Ah. Well, at least I'm getting sand in this one. That's good. I need sand. Okay, I think this is the last room. Okay, now we are here. There's one underground by Milo. Where's Milo? Milo's over here. Right here. Oops. I think these are sand piles? Yes, they are. We high-key stand these old subway tunnels and the mysterious energy that they bring to the district. They used to carry people around cities on old Earth as part of a system called public transport. Now we explore these tunnels to look for anything sus that might give us tea on why the uplift happened and how we can prevent anything like it from happening again. Some Loftians say they can hear scratching sounds coming from behind the cave-ins. No cap. They're either Delulu or there may be more hiding in the tunnels than we think. Oh my god. I'm full up on rusted metal. We're gonna need to fill our battery soon. Oh, heck yeah. Looks like I'm gonna get the wolf vest before I get my other thing. Wolf vest. No. yellow is rare. Yeah, it looks like I'm not gonna be able to get my pieces from this area. I think it has to be like the south. Whee! Am I full on magnets? No, I'm not. Can't pick up any more rusted metal. I don't need to repair that because I have everything I can get from it. I already have the emo jacket. Carbon fiber. Okay. Oopsie. That's a kitty. Did I go through this one? Oh, I got... Wait. Oh my god, I'm missing one more piece, guys. Well, of the dress. I still have to get the shoes and the hat. The shoes and the hat will be mine. it! Okay, I got the dress. Now all I need is the shoes and the hat. Oops. I'm gonna get it all, even if it takes me all night. All night. I don't work tomorrow. I'm free to do as I wish. Where are we? Oh, we're at the... Yes, Gigi. Yes, I know. I need to go drop some stuff off. Oh, I don't have any repair kits on me. What do I get from these? Oh, rusted metal. Okay. What do I need? Upcycled fabric and vine fabric. Upcycled fabric vine. Upcycled. Upcycled. You want my cinnamon? I thought I bought a soy milk recipe. That's mushroom. I thought I did. I guess I didn't. Woodland boots. These are so much cuter than these. I don't really like these. They look too much like rain boots. Brick. Glass. Hello, 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 hello. Heck yeah. Spinach and rice. That's growing currently. I think it's gonna take like 30 more minutes probably. Gigi. Hold on, I'm gonna go see what he wants. Hello? I have returned. Gigi wanted second dinner. Oops. Aha. Do. Ah. They opened the door on me.
Maybe you can trigger.
There's nothing.
I put the marks on.
Okay, let's go to the start. We're gonna go to the start. There's apparently a door around here. There's apparently a door around here. Or is it here? This way. Is it like here? It is. Oh, I found the Loftia. Dashing shoes. Battered game guy. I love the names they chose for these little things. For the artifacts. They're so silly. Loftia instead of Nokia. Fubi instead of Furby. What is it? Lofufu instead of Labubu. Walk boy instead of a Walkman. Oops. I got a U-Pod and a power cable. I needed that. Hello, Yuhira! How are you? Mika, Mika. Hi! Gao, gao, gao! Gao, gao, gao! How are you, Yuhira? How are you doing? Oh, thank you for shouting them out. Final Fantasy!
What happens if you
Ooh.
drop the cube and stay still?
What is that game? Oh.
Oh, here it comes again. We're gonna have to grab it. I'm gonna have to grab it. Oh! Alright, maybe the next one. Maybe the next one.
Oh no, are you
You went
forever
ahead.
stuck in a loop?
Oh! Oh, this is so cool. This game is amazing. Holy... Oh, I'm so excited. This is so cool. This is like better than Portal. What? This is crazy. Grab it, grab it. Oh!
No.
I think I broke it though. I think we
Yeah,
broke
how
it.
do you fix that? That's funny. Is that Final Fantasy 1 that you were playing? Not in the clip, but on your stream. We started a Final Fantasy marathon! Ooh, exciting! There you go, Shark. You couldn't... That sounds enjoyable for you to watch. Find me when you get 13 games later. Started with Final Fantasy 1 and I will be playing every Final Fantasy until 16. Dang! That's a long series. That's not the right way. It should take us about 9 months. Oh my gosh. That's impressive. Did I not find a used Loftia? What is this game, Mashi-chan? It looks cute. It's Loftia! It's the closed beta for Loftia, a MMO life sim. Me and Rin were playing it on Sunday. The beta's only open for until the 6th. Sadly. If you want to play it, the server is always giving away keys. Of course, the game isn't like a finished product. This is just the beta. But it's actually really, really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. It'll be really nice once they like polish it more and fix multiplayer. It's only been out for like a week or a week and a half, and they already like did 2 patches. 2 major patches. They already like fixed the optimization issues people were having. Like they really listened to their player base. went the wrong way. Da, 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 da.
And that one doesn't get us over.
I don't know if I went through this one already. Oh, I must have. I'm looking for a used Loftia. Yuhida, if you need to go do your after stream care, please do so. Don't let me keep you here. Take care of yourself. Yeah, take care of yourself. Go eat if you haven't ate. I found my used Loftia. I had a long day at work, then streamed 4 hours, so I'm sort of zoning out watching you play. Aww. That's a long day. I worked and now I've been live for like almost 2 hours. I didn't stream 4 hours, but I had a long day at work. I'm sorry, Shark. I wonder if I even worked overtime, so I worked for 9 hours. Oh my goodness. Meanwhile, me over here, I left early today. I should get in some overtime. It's just so hard to stay over my hours. You've been working 9 to 10 hours pretty much every day. Oh my gosh, are you okay? That's a lot. Are you getting adequate rest? I need a circuit board. What? My stuff's empty. Where's my algae? Did I really use all my algae? Oh my god. Oh my god. Vines. Last week I did a day where I was there for almost 13. My check is gonna be thick. That's good. Get that money. Get that money, honey. I get that. This week wasn't too bad, mostly 9-hour days. But I've been doing that since the start of the year. Oh my goodness. VTuber art commissions. No, that's real. That's valid. Recycler, circuit boards. This game gives me Dinkum and My Time at Porsche vibes. Yeah, it really does. I thought of, you know, the dev. That's funny because the devs are actually Australian. The two main developers are a couple from Australia. And Dinkum is Australian. I'm trying to get these shoes and this dress. No, I got the dress. I'm trying to get the... Wait, did I get the dress? Progression. Customization. I'm trying to get the dress and the hat. No, the shoes and the hat. Yeah, I got the dress. Look at it! It's so cute. I don't have any shoes to match it right now. Ugg boots. Oh, these are cute, actually. Maybe we can make it pinker. Or blue. Pink. It's like... And then apply, and then a hat. This pink is not the right pink. I look like cotton candy. I'm so cute. Look at me. Okay. So we're looking for these shoes and my mask or hat. Well, it's like a sleeping mask. I don't have enough energy to... Good thing Gridfall lets me load up on energy. That's great. Oops.
Monsters here.
You can kind of predict where the loot spot's gonna be. Water.
My God! See, again, stupid shit. I placed them in the page, but it made me go too. And like, I don't scroll to my
Bestie Testy, hello. Welcome in. Hello, hello, hello. I really hope there's like not a chance the harvesting spot can appear behind a wall. Hello. I look so frilly. I wonder if I put my... Oh, it's right here. I'm a dingus. I'm struggling to find the boots. I found the dress, but I can't find the boots. I think we have the energy to craft our recycler now. Recycler. Stations reached. Recycle artifacts under colorful tiles. Can I put my... What do you mean? Why can't I put it down? Processing station. Oh. What's your question, Cox? Is it appropriate? Because I'm not really in the mood right now. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna answer that. Anyway. Recycler. What do we want? We need 6? I'm recycling lofufus. I'm recycling lost artifacts. No, you cannot recycle babies.
Huh?
Don't understand why they put a screen and a numpad on a brick, though. Maybe it was a fake construction brick that stored secret info. There's probably a special code you can input. I think you should research more. Yeah, I have no time for this. So if the answer isn't in Earth's geology or in its structure, then there's literally only one possible research avenue left. Life beyond Earth. Look, I need a new type of artifact. Bring me something that looks otherworldly. Like, it's clearly human-made, but also alien.
Huh?
Action figures. Seriously, those aren't alien. These guys are basically my origin story. I used to play with them when I was little. The fact that you didn't even take the time to properly study this artifact is kind of outrageous. And... Atlas! Maybe I shouldn't turn every unfamiliar object into some unhinged theory. They might have... Oh, I just realized he has a lofufu on his bag. Might have been just as important to someone as these little fellows were to me. Those artifacts you brought probably deserve a few more hours of study. Thanks for your help, Mashi. You're the realist. Mashi, I have a question. Are you up for a question? No. Oh, okay. Maybe next time. No, Shark, what's your question? Thank you for the head pat. Oh my god. Okay, I take it back. Shark deleted Shark's message. Why did you delete it? It's fine. I take it back too. I'm so silly. No, I'm enjoying Loftia right now. Bunny girls. You know, I used to be a bunny girl. Back in my day, I used to be a bunny girl VTuber. And then... Okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed. And then I was a dog VTuber. You can be a bunny girl. Little person, hi. Hi, Ninja. How are you? Still working? How could you not be retired already? How could you? I'm not that old. I'm not Taryn. Nah. Still working. I hope you get some rest. Nah, Friday night is my bad night. Off at 11 p.m. my time, going back to work at 8. No! That's so awful! Tell them this dog girl VTuber says you can leave, you should go home. I'm sure they'll understand. What? No! This is Loftia. No, this is Patrick! Oh, so much sand! Ah! Stop it! I'm gonna ban you from sound alerts. Thank you for the bits. I hope that hurt your ears just as much as it hurt mine. Lava lamp. I got hot Cheetos as a snack. I love hot Cheetos. I'm a hot Cheeto? Thanks. Yeah, I've just spent all weekend playing Rivals, stuck at Silver 3. No way, you don't have to. You don't have to. You could just not play Rivals. That's an option. You need gold for why? Plus it's better than Overwatch. I don't know. Rivals makes me like way more pissed than Overwatch does. Got the shoes. Got the shoes. Let's go. They're so cute. No, reset. Chat, I heard there's a new game that came out recently called Loftia. Is there anyone around that could explain it to me? Actually, there is! It's me! Mashimaru VT, or otherwise known as a Loftia partner. Loftia is an MMO. And also known as Massive Multiplayer Online. But it's more of a medium multiplayer online. You can fish, farm, craft, expand your little island, play with friends. You could get cute outfits like this. You could customize your character. What is wrong? Do you hear Gigi? You're crying. Yeah. The beta is available until May 6th, 2026. The game will be released as early access on PC, Mac, and Nintendo Switch. Guys, I'm talking about Loftia, please. Thanks. Thank you. You could go adventuring with friends. You can do sick emotes. Like this one, or like this one. Okay. There's no combat, but there is crafting and quests. There's a little quest menu right here on the side here. All the NPCs have very unique personalities. You are like rebuilding a civilization. Mods, can we ban Shark? Mods, can we ban Cox? I'll talk it over with the mods. What? You started this. You decided to be annoying. Don't act like you're innocent. Look, look, look. I'm going to my neighborhood. I'm going to show you my house. Now, I don't have a lot of furniture right now because I've been doing quests. But this is my little sign. You're in a neighborhood of 3 other people. These are my grapes. This is my share box that I can share with other people who live in my neighborhood. This is my garden. This is my bee. These are my bees. These are my banana trees. That looks beautiful and gorgeous. Thanks. And you can even make your house even cuter with these starting houses. You can change the walls, the windows, the frame. You could expand your little island to have a waterfall or a pond. Very cute. No, it doesn't have fishing for whale sharks. I'm not giving into the temptation. I already have too many things to play. I already have way too many things to play. I have Loftia, Petite Planet, Pragmata. What else do I have? Trust that I have a lot of things. Where's my recycler? I guess I have to wait here. I thought I thought I could walk away from my recycler, but it looks like it doesn't keep going if you walk away. So you have to grab the materials or take the output. Thank you for this information, Mashimaru the VT. I will definitely play the Loftia beta and purchase the game when it comes out. Thank you! Thank you so much! Oh yeah, there's no gacha. There is like a battle pass, but you can earn everything by like playing the game. You can earn the battle pass currency by playing the game. Very nifty. Here, let's see See, this is the little battle pass. There's pajamas. My name is Psych Abscond, and I approve this message. Froggy hat. Oh, that's cute. I haven't helped with the turbine at all. Is there anything ... pumpkin related? Unfortunately, there is no pumpkins yet, as this is the beta. They won't release the pumpkins until the early access, probably. Yet! Craft the rail boots. What do I need for the rail boots? Oh, I have everything. Dang. Will you put in a good word for the pumpkins? Yes. You will put in a good word for the pumpkins. Yes, I will put in a good word for the pumpkins. Sea King, fuck yeah. A wearable jack-o'-lantern, that would be fun. That would! Look what I can do. What's this? Ooh. I hope you're well, Mashi. I got eaten by Twitch ads, so I will lurk. Thank you for the lurky. Ah. Magnets. if I just leave without collecting this stuff, will it just give it to me? Carbon fiber. This place looks kind of cozy. I think we will continue our search for the dreamy hat tomorrow. Because I don't seem to be having luck right now. Okay, now look what I can do. Look at the Ferris wheel, isn't it cool? Who's got it? No idea. Oh, what's this? Cables? Yes, cables. Nothing.
No, I jumped out.
Dang. That creamy hat do be evading me. Doobie doobie. Doobie doobie doo. Where are you? I got a dreamy hat to find now. Doobie doobie doo. Oh, just pick that up. My salvaging has gone up. I'm gonna get myself stuck. Which one have I not really been in? I haven't really been... I think I just did this one. I haven't done this one. What the? Gah. Oops. Historical quarter. Concrete jungle. Oops. Oops. I have not. Concrete jungle. Dreams are made of. I do like that the whole map is like explorable. Explorer. Okay, we need to go back to the... My goodness. Whoa, the velocity. Oh, how convenient. Let's go in here. Oh. I low-key feel like I'm playing Arc Raiders right now. Without the death. Foraging. What's that? Dashing shoes. Oops. Dashing shoes. Cute. Hello, Gigi. Hello. Man, the Grid Fallout was such a junk heap when it first showed up. Mita, Cliff, and I got over there to set up an air tram station. That way the rest of the gang could come help build up the district. After the tram got up and running, we all got together to clear some paths through the district. Then we each took a section of the district and salvaged the wreckage that had floated in with the island. We used the scrap we collected to create the district's core infrastructure. The grind rails, kinetic energy pads, and streetlights. I gotta admit, there's something nice about knowing that the district is made from the same stuff it showed up with. Kinda like it's kept its own spirit the whole time. I have all those. Salvaging. Repairing. Gaining more repair. XP. Oopsie.
Yeah.
Hello, Milo.
Oh.
Gonna love the good news or not. I never really know. As you probably noticed, our relationship is kind of broken. But why? Hey, Mita. So, Mita, hey, about those repairs. If we build more recyclers, maybe we'd have enough to... Milo, first, listen, I shouldn't have been so hard on you. Oh, it's fine, sis, really. Should have noticed how overwhelmed you were. Kept trying to do everything myself, but that's not really how things work here, right? Like Uncle Herb always says, the zucchinis we harvest together always taste the best. Exactly, so I do have a plan I was hoping you could help me with. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Time to put that recycler to good use. Hey Moshi, that turned out way better than I expected. Seriously, thanks for the help and sticking around. It's just really good to have my sis back. Hey, I think she's got one more thing to boss you around with, by the way. Meanwhile, I'm gonna make sure every single Loftian gets one of those machines so they can recycle their stuff. Okay. Whoa! That scared the shit out of me. It just appeared there. Okay, I am gonna stop there for tonight. I don't want to surpass Rin. What is going on over here? Okay. I don't want to finish the game without Rin, because I feel like if I keep playing I'm gonna finish the beta. I had fun though. I love this game. I'm gonna be really excited when it fully releases. Let's log out for now. I'll find someone to raid. Is Pumpkin still going? Yeah, let's raid Pumpkin. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a good night.